This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. As I see it, one of the largest problems with Republicans that we have today is their detachment from reality and the fact that they continue to try to sell their version of reality to the rest of us. They've got to know that only a fraction of the American people buy it, though. It's a system of cyclic motivated reasoning on the part of Republican voters. But here's a clip of Mike Johnson explaining the impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden. And he says insane things about how they are the party of the rule of law. They're the party who is concerned with justice and truth and transparency. While he praises the three chairmen of the three separate committees that have a hand in what's taking place relative to Hunter Biden and trying to tie some corruption to Joe Biden. It's all insane. It is all a master class in gaslighting from a Mahdi Rach's Christian man. A man who, mind you, believes deeply held in a religious manner that dinosaurs and people existed at the same time. He thinks the Flintstones was a fucking documentary, but also proclaims himself to be a constitutional scholar, a constitutional expert, a constitutional lawyer. Watch this remarkable bit of video, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Thank you all for being here. These are serious times, and this is a very serious matter. And I've said many times over the last few years, because impeachment has been an issue that we've all become all too familiar with, that next to the declaration of war, you can make an argument that impeachment may be the heaviest power that Congress holds. That constitutional responsibility lies with the House. We have a duty to pursue the facts where they lead. John Adams famously said, "Facts are stubborn things," and you heard a recitation of that here this morning. These facts are alarming. They're alarming to the American people. They are alarming to us. And so while we take no pleasure in the proceedings here, we have a responsibility to do it. We're very proud of the work of these three chairmen that you've seen here, Chairman Comer and Jordan and Smith. They've done an exceptional job in uncovering the obvious corruption. And you've heard it here summarized this morning very succinctly. President Biden and the Biden family. We owe it to the American people to continue this process, but to do it methodically and transparently. Many of you know I'm a lawyer, I'm a constitutional law attorney. I served on President Trump's impeachment defense team twice. And we lamented openly and we decried how the Democrats politicized that process. They were brazenly political in how they brought those meritless impeachment charges against the president. What you're seeing here, is exactly the opposite. We are the rule of law team. The Republican Party stands for the rule of law. And the people in charge of this are doing this thoroughly, carefully, methodically. They're investigating and gathering all the facts. And to do this appropriately and to do it in a manner that upholds our constitutional responsibility requires time. It requires a sound process. You don't rush something like this. You can't if you're going to have fidelity to the Constitution. These chairmen are committed to proceeding in that manner. And that's what you're seeing. We've heard from whistleblowers, Biden business associates, legal experts, and now we have reached the point in the investigation that we need to hear from a handful of really key witnesses in this. The chairmen have issued a few dozen subpoenas, and we expect that those would be complied with in an expeditious manner. We're not prejudging this. We will follow the facts wherever they lead. Again, that's our constitutional duty. And I fully support our chairmen and their efforts, and we'll have a lot more to share on this in the days ahead.
One of the chairmen there still has an unanswered subpoena that he refused to testify, Jim Jordan. To talk about their subpoenas that are lawful and they need to be answered. It rings hollow, Mike Johnson, dipshit. But let me go back to the beginning there when he's talking about the quote from John Adams, the facts are stubborn things quote. It's actually from I believe the closing argument in the trial that John Adams was the defense attorney in. The Boston Massacre, you may remember from history class, was when redcoats fired upon a group of revolutionaries, people who were taunting the soldiers, goading them to fire, and ultimately people died. Crispus Attucks being one of them. An amazing moment in American history where a black man actually died in one of the first bloodshed moments to spark the American Revolution. Look it up, it's interesting. But John Adams, patriot John Adams, defended the redcoats. He believed so fiercely in the rule of law. He believed so fiercely in a defendant's right to representation that he defended them and got them off, got them acquitted for the crimes they were charged with. And this is the full quote that Mike Johnson just talked about. Facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passions, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence, nor is the law less stable than the fact. Something that the Republicans could take a note from. They want to read half the quote. Facts are stubborn things. But no matter, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence or the dictates. They can't be driven by our passions or our wishes. But let's talk about a couple of the other things here. Describing the Republican Party as the rule of law team while being apologists for the attempted overthrow of the United States government, the insurrection, the attempted overturning of a free and fair election, and the extra-constitutional, extra-democratic reinsertion of Donald Trump as president of the United States. But they're the rule of law team. While talking about the two impeachments of Donald Trump as meritless. One, we read the transcript summary where Donald Trump tried to get Volodymyr Zelensky to dig up dirt, even just start an investigation so it looks like something's going on for election interference, election help. Holding over his head desperately needed military weaponry. The Javelin missiles, remember? Remember? It's not meritless. We all witnessed it. The second impeachment being the insurrection. His incitement of a violent, impassioned mob to attack the United States Capitol. Again, attempting to overturn an election. But the Republicans are the rule of law team. James Comer, they want to talk about transparency. Hunter Biden just agreed to testify publicly, transparently. And Comer saying, nah, we're not going to do that. We want it in private so we can twist and misuse the things that we find out as propaganda to, again, interfere in another presidential election. But they're the party of transparency, says Mike Johnson. I mean, come on. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can participate in this conversation. I invite it. You can call 714-576-4054 and leave me a brief voicemail. Keep them brief, please. You can also email me your thoughts. You can make those as long as you want. daily@dollemore.com. I would invite you to help produce this content, help make what I do here possible. Click the join button below. Become a channel member for $1.99 a month. Hit the super thanks button, or even better, you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. All those are great ways to help support and produce what I'm doing right here. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky, all of them. If they're social media, it's likely I'm there, and I'm at Dollemore. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.